Well, a very good Sunday afternoon slash evening to you all. Welcome back to the stream. It's me, DIGI. Today is Sunday, December 22nd, 2024. Where has the year gone by? I don't know if my cat's wondering. She's meowing. Maybe that's their code for saying, yeah, I agree. But hello. Good afternoon. I wasn't planning on a Sunday stream, but we're back from a trip out to see family and a quick kind of, I don't know, pre-Christmas visit, a intended Christmas, pre-Christmas visit. I don't know what you call those. When you're visiting someone for the Christmas holidays, but it's actually before Christmas. It's a thing. We are going to hop into FS 2020 because I want to hop into an airliner. And I think I learned my lesson from last time. I'm gonna grab one of the default planes, or excuse me, I'm gonna grab one of the Airbuses and do a comfy flight and try to do some Blender work while we're in cruise. I don't think I'm gonna take more than say an hour and a half for the flight. And with the default plane, I should probably be able to spin it up, get it on a runway, and get out of town in about, like what, 20-25 minutes if I move. So we're not going for an extremely complicated, complex stream today. We're going to fly, we're going to catch up, and we're going to do a little bit of Blender work and cruise as we take off for parts unknown. Don't know what plane, don't know what airport I'm flying out of, and I don't know what airport I'm flying to. For all I know, we could probably try doing something in Europe. Or I could fly in Canada, actually. Huh. There's a thought. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let me take a look at the world map and figure out where we're going to go. We could probably do a Caribbean op and do something like going to, I don't know, from St. Martin to San Juan, or we could probably try doing something over in Europe or North Africa or South Africa. You know, as they say, the world is our oyster. And I would much rather probably be having some kind of Asian cuisine. I don't know. Ooh. There's an idea. How about we go to Narita? Well, if we go to Narita, are we going to go to Sendai? And is there an airport big enough to support us there? I don't know. I think that's a base. I think. Oh, yes. It does look like a airport with a terminal. Yeah, how about that? How about we do a flight and we kind of bypass the usual stops? Maybe we can fly from Nagoya to Sendai. That would actually be pretty interesting. Let's get the flight set up. And we'll try to do some dev while we're in cruise, like I said. So let me just check myself here. Okay. Let's see, either Osaka or whatever airport this is. Chubu Centrair International. Actually, this looks pretty cool. I can't see the terminals from here, probably because the airport's in the water. Alright, let's see. Yeah, it doesn't show me. That's odd. Ramp, ramp, ramp. Oh, there we go. Gate. We'll take gate 6, and we will not be flying the Shock Ultra. We'll take an airliner. And yes, I know, I'm going to pick something very, very, very default. Although default could mean something like taking the 787-10 or the 788. Well, that's not default. This is default. But I feel like the 787-10 would be oversized for the op that we want to do. And since I don't care about simulating a lot today, I'm going to go ahead and grab the World Travel livery. And we're going to be November 820 Sierra Whiskey. We'll say we're World Travel. And Whiskey Tango Alpha 197. Yes, I'm making that up. No, I don't care. We'll take about 60% of fuel, and payload is actually interesting. It's not really listening to me. And like I said, don't care. We're going to set up gate 6 as our departure, and then we're going to fly to Sendai. Sendai's up here, and Sendai's right here. We'll park up at gate 4. And it's a fort. Are you serious? Okay, maybe we have to leave out of Osaka. Out of Kobe. Okay, where are we? We'll take gate 6 out of here. Okay, that's slightly longer. All right. We'll do this for now. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I do have some stuff to take care of today, so the flight might be the stream in and of itself, but we'll see what we can do. Probably better for me to set up for the flight, that way we don't have to worry about saying, oh, you know, am I gonna have time to do it all? Like, it's all right. Looks like we're departing to the east on runway 09er, and we're going to be arriving automatic into Sendai. I'll take a look at those approaches, and yes, I am doing the things. I have no idea why I picked a departure that's going to loop me back around. I would much rather go to direct to MITRE, and I'll probably do that. It might be because of restrictions. Again, I don't care about restrictions, so I'm fine with that. And we'll take a look at Sendai for weather, and we will determine what the approach is going to be like, etc., etc. So, if we land to the... Wait, seriously? Okay, Sendai. Yeah, winds are 308 at 9er. We're not going to be landing on this runway, it's too short. Nine knots. The Airbus A320neo can take a 10-knot tailwind. Yeah, we're landing to the west. We're landing to the west. So there we go. Automatic approach, and right now conditions look okay. At least I think they do. So let me take the ILS Zulu just in case we have issues, and then we will set ourselves up. This is a kind of nice and proper flight now, so I think we're okay. We have gate, departure, and the approach. We'll see if we can actually get back to gate 4, which is basically the third jetway with an extra attachment. That should do. Let's go ahead and get started, and we will go real time. Since it's 6:15 in the morning over there. Wow. That's pretty cool. A wonderful good evening or good morning to those of you that are overseas that are watching this. I appreciate you stopping by. All right, we do appear to have a jetway next to us that we can use, so we'll go ahead and utilize that. We'll have a little bit of fun with this pushback. So we'll take catering, baggage, give me power, and a jetway. I will grab external power right now. And the jetway's coming in. Let's take some overhead lighting. And this is the super duper default A320neo, so very little of this is going to be clickable, and I don't care. Let's get the nav and logo lights on, and we'll make do like we're actually boarding the plane. And we'll get the seatbelt and electronic signs to on, and let's go ahead and start getting ourselves prepped. What can I do? What can I do? I can probably get my flight plan loaded. And in just a few days, this is going to need to be updated. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Alright, World Travel 197 going from Kobe to Sendai, and cost the next 100. It's going to be a nice and zippy flight. And we have the departure information set. Okay, good. We do have the approach into the runway already, so that's fine. And I'll leave these numbers in, and we will go Toga for our departure, because I feel like it. And assuming the airplane's not going to be too loaded, I'm probably going to take a 0.4 for up for a trip. And let's go ahead and just get our controls, or not our controls, our cabin setup. We're going to be cruising at what I feel is going to be 370 for today's op. 370 should be sufficient. And it's probably going to be a short cruise anyway. And there we go. That is our squawk code set. Panels adjusted for brightness, and we'll get the flight director and constraints on. And now we have our initial climb, which is cruise. All right. Let's see. Am I missing anything at the moment? Well, no, except that the jetway doesn't actually connect like I thought it would, but that's okay. And we are again at Kobe, which is interesting airport, which is kind of sort of in the middle of the bay. And we're going to be departing into the morning sunshine, which should be shortly. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish our prep. We'll get the fuel pumps rolling. It would help to get my batteries on as well. I had missed that. Let's go ahead and get the beacon light on and dismiss the jetway. At this point, they should have finished loading. And we will also go ahead and turn on the APU and get it started. And again, we've got 10,616 kilograms of fuel, way more than enough for a roughly hour-long flight into Sendai. So if for some reason we have to divert or do something outside the envelope of flying a plane normally, then we'll have enough contingency fuel. I see no reason why we wouldn't. Let's see. APU is available. We can take the APU bleed. I have disconnected external power, and we are going to go ahead and dismiss the power. We'll also dismiss the catering and baggage at this time. Alright, so we should be able to get pushed back in a few minutes. How was everyone's weekend? I hope that you are all doing well. I'm going to be coming into a short work week this week. We've got Christmas Day and the rest of the week off. And I'm looking forward to some R&R and a chance to kind of reset my batteries. Then next week is also kind of a short week, and then we step into the new year. Okay, looks like the luggage and the catering is done. Let's go ahead and prep for a pushback as well. And what can I do? I can probably do myself a favor and at least open up SimBrief and give myself a view of the charts at these places. So don't mind me signing in a different browser. I can also do it through the sim, but using the website for me is faster. Okay. All right, so we're going to create a new flight. It's going to be world travel flight 197, departing. What airport were we departing out of? What's the code? Romeo Juliet Bravo Echo to Romeo Juliet Sierra Sierra. Aircraft type is an A320neo. And registration November 820 Sierra Whiskey. Fin number 2 Sierra Whiskey. Just making that up. And I'm going to generate the flight, but I really don't care if I hit any of the waypoints. This is basically just for the purposes of getting my flight prepped. Although I have a pretty good idea, it's going to be pretty close. Actually, it's almost the exact same flight plan. It's kind of weird, but that's all right. We'll import the flight plan into charts and we will get going. And now the reason I want my flight plan is so that I can actually see the airport. All right, this is pretty easy actually, because if we are at the main terminal, then we're going to go down essentially Papa. It's Papa 4, Papa 3, Papa 2, Papa 1. Those are the segments. And then we go to Tango 1, hold short, depart on a roughly 8,200 foot long runway, and follow the Kilo Charlie Echo 5 SID departure, the Kobe 5 departure out of Kobe International. Considering how quick this flight is, I have a feeling skipping waypoints might not be well advised, especially since I'd be flying into the city. So that's a no bueno. We'll skip that. We will follow the departure out of town. And then we're going to have probably about 30 to 35, 40 minutes up in the air through the, what you might call the fattest section of I think this is the island of Honshu in Japan. And then we'll land in Sendai. So that's good. We'll push back tail left. Excuse me, we'll push back tail right, nose left, and we'll go down Papa in descending order to 09er. So let's do pushback, pre-plan, and we will push all the way back up to the taxiway. On the other hand, if I just do that, I could probably do the rest of it myself, but let's go ahead and at least just finish the taxiway pushback that way. Although technically, they're going to push me out a certain way. At least I thought they would have. Coffee Cup Arcade, thanks so much for stopping by. Really appreciate having you aboard. Folks, if you don't know my friend Coffee Cup Arcade, a great friend of the channel, somebody that I've spent a long time hanging out with and chatting on his Twitch channel as well, and somebody that likes retro gaming and has been a part of a big part of the industry when I was coming up. So if you like watching tunes, like video game tunes, like Sid tunes, and the occasional gameplay, feel free to go check out my friend CCA. Let's go ahead and request the pushback, and I think we're ready to go. I don't have audio turned on for pushback, so they'll just begin their business once they're hooked up. And it looks mostly cloudy over here, but it will get lighter out. We're leaving Kobe undercover, so to speak. And okay, we've got this plane mostly configured. Let's go ahead and turn off the overhead lights and make sure we're set. Fuel pumps are on, a PU bleed is going. Yes, I saw your message in your Discord. Congratulations. Hopefully these things pan out for you. So let's go ahead and push back at this point. I'm going to go ahead and release parking brake now. And now we can begin pushing back. Put ignition to crank mode and get engine 2 fired up. These engines shouldn't take very long to spin up at all. And while they are spinning up, I'm going to go ahead and set up my interior view because I like that. Pick a fixed camera. I think I like the wing view. Beautiful. And we do have EGT rising on engine 2. That means we're starting it up. That's good. I like that. And we've got N1 rising as well. Let's go ahead and start up engine number 1 as well. And we'll get the flaps in as well. Flaps are in, and the PTU was barking. Sounds like a barking dog, but technically I don't think you're supposed to be able to hear the PTU from the front cabin. And soundproofing being as it is in most airliners, you probably won't hear it that much at all IRL. So once we get finished with the pushback, we'll be able to taxi down the taxiway to runway 09 for departure out of Kobe, and then we'll have a quick flight and we'll catch up. I'll see if I work on anything while we're on cruise, because I thought the flight was actually going to be longer, but at the same time we'll see what happens. I don't know if anybody's like we are, but we're tired after our trip. We did like basically an overnight to visit family, and we're back. We came back in during like the day, and like midday, and we're settled in. Given the amount of traveling we've done over the past roughly 8-9 days, you know, me not getting on a plane IRL to fly, that's not a bad thing. All right, let's see. Both engines are available and running. We can set ignition back to normal. We can get the probe heat turned on and turn the APU bleed off. And I'll get my strobe to auto, my landing lights into the deployed position but not on. We'll turn the taxi light on, and we will get the wing light on for safety. And that should be everything. Let's go ahead and begin our control checks. Well, let's say control checks complete. We'll do a quick external peek and see what the tail and rudder are doing. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and get started with our taxi. Parking brake release, and the A320 Neos in the sim, the default one, and even I think the ones created by AnyBuild and Fly-by-Wire, they use, I think they use CFM's LEAP engines or something like that. They normally don't take a lot of energy to get going, so there we go. All right, we're rolling. I'm slowly adding the throttle in. I'm flying real time. The sun should be coming up soon. It's like 6:42 a.m. over there. And that's fine. I do have real-time traffic turned on, so we'll see whether or not we actually get any real-time flights. Give or take 5 minutes for timing differences and such. That's cool. Are we going to get an escort to the runway? No, I guess they just wanted to go somewhere. One thing that I still don't understand is precisely why the airplane wants to pull to one side. I don't think my rudder trim is out of whack, and the N1 on both sides, both engines, is basically almost perfectly symmetrical, so it's not like one engine is doing way more than the other engine is. I don't really know why. But it's not something I'm going to worry about too much. I mean, I guess if I really wanted to, I could add some actual rudder trim and keep it from happening, but it's hard to do, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. If I sound like a blubbering knucklehead, it's just because I'm a little bit tired, but I had a good time and had some good food, spent time with family, and even came back with an extra Christmas gift, so I'm happy. Yes, ECA, if you're still here, I got gifted a 3DS for Christmas, so I'm probably going to be messing around with it and enjoying it because I've always wanted a 3DS for a while, and I couldn't afford one, and I couldn't actually, I just kind of got bored of the idea, and it didn't actually materialize. So I'm happy that it actually didn't do anything. I didn't do anything to buy one, because now I have one. All right, stand by, everybody. Let's set the parking brake and just make sure we're good to go here. Auto brake is going to be max for our rollout, and technically we could arm the ground spoilers. How's that work? There we go. We've armed the ground spoilers, and we'll get the weather system is turned on, and that should be everything I need down there. We'll get the landing lights on and the nose light up for takeoff, strobes to on, and I think that's everything that we need to do. All right, a quick check of traffic reveals nobody's coming or going, and that should be it. And since we're overseas, I'm going to go ahead and flip this to Q&H units. And now we can get rid of the parking brake, and we can get going. So hello to anybody watching, whether you are watching live and lurking or you're watching the replay. I am DIGI Driver. I am a flight sim streamer and scenery developer for MSFS 2020 and 2024. I usually don't do a lot of flight sim streaming for flights. I usually do it more for scenery dev. But I also didn't plan on streaming today, and I came back from a trip and just wanted to share some of my experiences. I work IRL as a software developer, so a lot of times during the week I just stream scenery development so that I can share my creations with people and show people the things that I do in Blender and in the sim, because FS 2020 as well as FS 2024 both have a software development kit you can use to develop scenery inside the sim, literally, and you can literally see stuff going in. You can put down textures and things like that. There you go. Okay, chronometer doesn't actually allow you to press it here, so we're going to go ahead and get rolling. And again, like I said, we're going to go full toga takeoff. Let me check my sound levels here. We should be good. Let's get started. Mantoga, and we have runway. Thrust is toga. We're past 80 knots already. Coming up on V1 means we're committed, and rotate. There we go. A little bit of wind. And we're going to take the flaps up.
Overspeed, overspeed, overspeed.
Disregard. 500, autopilot. Once we hit 1,000 feet, we'll probably be able to go to thrust climb. Actually, I think it's 1,500. Okay, so there we go. Right there you see thrust climb. That means I think the computer can take care of the rest of the thrust adjustment for me. The Airbus is it really likes to do a lot for you. It doesn't like you doing very much of anything manually, and essentially when you have a lot of stuff configured, that's when you're good. We can disable ground spoilers, and the auto brake basically is gone now since we've rolled out. We can put the nose light away, and basically we have landing lights on until 10,000 feet, and away we go. Probe heat is on, outside temperature is about 0, and SAT is -9. So essentially it's a cold one. A little less than 250 knots through 8,500 feet. But it's shaping up to be a beautiful twilight. Let's take a look outside. There's the airport. And there's the morning light coming into view. And there's our default A320neo with the World Travel livery. Looks nice. Now we're 10,000 feet plus, so we can turn those landing lights off and retract them. And I'll turn the wing lights off as well. And in a nutshell, there you go. Your power cord. Okay. All right. Folks, enjoy the climb out to cruise. I'm going to take a few minutes just to help assist you with something and should be back shortly. Stand by. Hello, everybody. I'm back. Took a little while to help Mrs. Digi try to find something. She needed a USB cable for a bedside fan, so helped her out with that. She wanted to say she was sorry for taking time, but she doesn't have to apologize at all. She's worth all that time. I'm fortunate to be around a lot of people that have a very similar perspective. Let's say stuff like in terms of like streaming versus like taking care of everything else. It's like family first. You got to take care of what you got to take care of, and people genuinely usually share that amongst themselves, so we're good. Ooh, look at that view. That's wonderful. We should be getting some sunlight very shortly. There it is. Look at that. That's absolutely beautiful. That's amazing. The sun just coming up in the east as we continue to fly out to Sendai today. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome aboard. I don't do a lot of flights these days, but I do like to spend time occasionally messing around in Microsoft Flight Sim. I also have other flight sims that I like to play with. I was flying in P3D a few nights ago, but unfortunately it crashed the desktop. It's okay. I mean, I like spending time in FS 2020 and FS 2024 along with, what was I going to say? Along with X-Plane. Yeah. My view is slightly off kilter, but I'm not worried about it, so I'm just going to leave that alone for now. And we are climbing up to flight level 370. Did I neglect? Oh, yeah, there we go. Let's get the... Let's get the view brightness up here. We're almost at the top of climb. It's crazy. And we have now been operational for about 34 minutes since we basically fired up the batteries. We're reaching cruise, and I'd say in another, what, 20 minutes we'll be going down? That's fast. Okay, so I said I was going to do some Blender work, but I might cap that till tonight. So I might push that till later when I do like a quiet stream while I'm watching other people fly or do stuff. I will catch up with you all about my trip. I took a quick trip this weekend to visit family and to enjoy some Christmas time with them. Ate some food and did a lot of walking around. Obviously, most of the places you're gonna go to do shopping this weekend, they would have been packed with people. I was fortunate that we weren't swamped. I just know, like, at the times of day that we went, when you would have probably expected them to be somewhat quiet, they weren't. Had fun browsing, had fun looking through some things, and then essentially we decided, hey, it's time to go back. So we did. The weather was really cold. If you're in the mid-Atlantic states like I am, and you did any kind of shopping this weekend, you know the temperatures were like cold. Like somewhere between cold and bitter cold. So around my area it was like in the like the mid to low 20s. So it was nice to be, inside of like a warm car or inside inside an apartment or a house, just taking in the warmth and catching up with people. So I did that. And we got back in this afternoon, and I have been just, decompressing and chilling out. Now, let's see. When we take a look at the flight plan for the ILS approach into Sendai, we're going to take, I think, the Zulu. be on final. So probably from Perid, the arrival ends at Snook, and then we're going to go to Perid for the ILS 27 Zulu approach. The decision height for that is going to be 200 feet, but the Baro mins are going to be 215. Let's get the approach information set. There we go. Alright, I'll sneak a peek at the weather right now. Current weather is winds variable at 2 knots, clouds few at 2,000, temperature -3, dew point -6, and the QNH is 1012. And we're going to say winds 27 because I don't think I can put VRB at 2. Transition altitude is probably going to be... What will transition altitude be? If I take a look at the arrival... Oh, it says it right there. So it's 140. And MDA is going to be 215 feet. Flaps full is 145. So we'll do that. There we go. Look at that. That's a beautiful sunrise. Get a good screenshot of it. So we've literally got about maybe 2 minutes, 60 seconds before we actually start descent. And we should need to set this to what altitude? Let me see. Final approach altitude is going to be 1,500 feet. And if we descend at this point, where are we? Are we seriously going to begin descent now? That makes no sense. We've got over like 240 some odd feet. No. Skip it. I'm not hearing that. We're going to stay as we are. Descending now would be a bit much. We're barely getting past Nagoya, so I don't think it's going to happen. We're at 37,000 feet, and we're going to want to get down to 1,500 feet for final approach. So, if it was 1,000 feet, we'll be losing 26,000 feet. 24,000 feet would basically make it 80 nautical miles. And we are, in my opinion, way farther out than that right now. So, I'm just taking a look at the size of the legs that we're flying. 12, 8, 15. So let's see, 20, 35, 40. And then the arrival, we have another 20 some odd. So, okay, let's put the book at about 30 nautical miles. So, if that's the case, and we have another 30 some odd nautical miles, probably by the time we get to, I'm assuming Heiki. Let's see. Let's take a look at those waypoints. So we have Dandy, and then from Dandy we go direct to Owlet. Oh yeah, this is a significantly simplified flight plan. So okay, I would assume somewhere between maybe 10 to 15 nautical miles out from Dandy, we will begin the descent. But at least not until we get to Dandy, which, if I take a look at the flight plan right now, we've got... It said we're going to hit Dandy at 22:15, and what's the time right now? 22:15. Yeah, we've got about 15 minutes. So we've got about 15 minutes of flight before we actually begin the actual descent. So that's okay. And I believe that is Mount Fuji in the distance, which is kind of dope. That's great. Actually, let's slide over. Is it? Yeah, gotta be. Yeah, that thing is standing alone. That's amazing. All right. Thanks again to everybody that stopped by. Thank you to all my lurkers. Don't feel bad if you don't like to talk. You are boosting the channel algorithm simply by being here. So, appreciate you and appreciate your curiosity for my flight sim streams. We are in Japan today for a very quick flight. I was setting up the stream so that we could actually do fly and dev while we were there, but I'm feeling I'm feeling it after this weekend, so I think just streaming this for now and enjoying the flight to Sendai is going to be good, and then I'll probably make some food and set up to relax. I slept a little bit on Friday night, and I slept a little bit on Saturday night, so it's kind of one of those deals where, like, you go, oh, well, like, you know, are you okay? I was like, I think I'm just tired. So chilling out and having a good time are on tap. Some of my friends are also streaming as well. If you like community involvement in terms of flying along with people, I don't have my multiplayer turned on. Let me go ahead and turn it on right now. I'll break immersion for a few moments. There we go. Now I should see multiplayer traffic. And there are a few streamers that do flights in FS 2020 and FS 2024. You can sometimes fly along with them if they have their multiplayer mode turned on, like I just turned mine on. The problem is, I think with FS 2020 and FS 2024, multiplayer traffic inside the sim is isolated. So you can't have people flying FS 2024 that you can see in FS 2020 and vice versa. You would need a different client. You would probably need something like, for example, Join FS. Okay, let me go home. All right. Let's see, how much time do I have actually? Hold on. I need to check something. We are inbound Dandy, and we've probably got another 10 minutes. Yeah, at least 10 minutes. Let me go ahead and step away from the cabin. I got some stuff delivered, so I want to get it off the front porch. But I should be back hopefully in time to begin the descent and to get prepped. And if we go a little bit over in terms of descent profile, we can always just go further out into the bay and then loop back into Sendai. So, sit tight, folks. Should be back in a bit. Enjoy the view. Hello, folks. I'm back once again, and I'm echoing, which is because I had my other screen with me. But this is good. All right. So we are well on our way to Dandy, or at least we should be. Let me double check and close a few windows while I'm at it. All right. Yeah, so we're going to Tadme and then we're going to Dandy. Okay, great, great. So between Dandy and Outlet is when we're going to begin our descent. So let's see, that's 22:14. We still got about 8 minutes until that happens. That's fine. I apologize in advance because I had planned on doing something where I was going to fly and create some objects in Blender at the same time. To be completely honest with you, I'm glad that that plan didn't materialize because I am beginning to kind of feel a bit tired from schlepping, back and forth on the trip. Looks like the sun is way up in the sky now, so I'm happy. We got lots of daylight in on the way to Sendai, and hopefully we won't have issues with the weather. But we do have the ILS-27 Zulu queued up, so we shouldn't have a problem landing as long as we are above minimums when we actually spot the runway. I was just remarking about some of the experiences I've had recently, and I'm grateful that I was able to spend time with family. I'm grateful that I was able to get out and enjoy a teensy bit of shopping for this Christmas, and that overall I have my health. I like the Christmas season a lot. You all clearly know that I like to what's the phrase I'm going for? You all clearly know that I like to start celebrating Christmas as early as possible. Like I am thinking forward to Christmas as early as Labor Day. And the downhill slide at that point becomes Labor Day and all the individual holidays that get to that point. And you would think, or you would imagine, that it's just a like it's like, like you're celebrating too early. For me, it's that's barely early enough. And what usually happens is, we get to a point where it's like we get to October, and then by the time November rolls around, we've got the Christmas tree up already, we've got some decorations out, and then we pile drive into Thanksgiving week. And then once Thanksgiving is done and Christmas is in full swing, I usually tell myself I want to appreciate and and what's the phrase? Like savor the season. And one thing or another happens, and we get to this point where we're like, oh, yeah, like it's here. And then it rips by, but we spend time with people, and then, like, we go into the next year and we go, yeah, this year we really want to do Christmas well. Well, I was starting to get afraid that I had kind of missed the boat again. We already spent time with the family on a trip, traveling to Disney, and we had a nice time in Disney World. The weather was beautiful. A few nights it was very cold, but it was okay. And we had lots of good food. And then, that was done and in the books. And it's like, oh man, like, we kind of want to go back, but I'm also glad I'm back where I am, because I'm back to my pets and back to uh, what will hopefully remain, by God's grace, a quiet routine for the rest of the year. We'll see. And again, I was just like, I don't know, like, are we, am I doing okay? Am I about to kind of miss the point again? And it slowly dawned on me that I didn't. Ooh, weather reset. That was a big weather reset. Wow. Let's go ahead and adjust that. But yeah, the reason why I said that was just because, like, I really try to appreciate the season, and I feel like sometimes it doesn't happen. But I got to spend time with family, got to spend time listening to and talking to some people, and things being what they are, I wish that I had more of a financial cushion to be able to rest up this year. But I'm most likely not the only one dealing with that specific problem. And if you know, you know. So trying to, okay, it's okay. Trying to take care of medical stuff, trying to take care of bills, trying to make sure that we have stuff to 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 have is tricky. And I think a lot of folks are having similar struggles. I I remarked this on someone else's stream 1 or 2 nights ago, and I said I felt like in 2024 I was the only one dealing with stuff. The obvious reality was I wasn't. So many of us were dealing with, either family or financial difficulties or health concerns, and it literally is what it is. I mean, I'm, I think it was this year. I think I I think Mrs. Digi had some surgery at the beginning of the year, and she was using a scooter to get around. And I think I literally broke my pinky toe when I accidentally kicked her scooter with my foot. And I think about this and laugh about it because, I'm nowhere near as much pain as I was at that point. But I literally accidentally kicked the tire of the scooter with almost like complete full force, and I'm I'm very, very fortunate that I did not go down because that hurt a lot. Now it's like, well, did you find out? Did you go to the doctor? It's like, well, no. And I had a I had a purple toe for, I want to say, about 2 or 3 days, but now it's back to a normal color, and I'm pretty sure it's what it was. I think I was like, you know, hobbling for the better part of like 4 or 5 weeks, and now I can, pretty much get back to using my feet the way I normally do, and that's it. Okay, quick check. Where are we actually? Okay, we're going past Dandy, and we're on the way to Owlet. So sometime in the next, like, probably 5 or 10 nautical miles, we can begin the descent phase. And if I take a look at the display here, our altitudes are at or above 13,000 feet. So unless I'm going to go from 37,000 to 12 and drop like 25,000 feet in the next less than 80 nautical miles, we should be safe to begin the descent. I'm not going to descend through a normal VNAV path because I think I need to I need to do a little bit of manual work, because I don't think the default A320neo, the old school default A320neo, I don't think it actually does VNAV as well as, say, the any builds or the fly-by-wire does. I don't think it obeys restrictions. So let's go ahead and start descending now. It's probably safe to say I need to do 2,500 feet per minute or more. We've got a righteous tailwind. Good gravy. First off, we're 564 knots. First off. Second off, we're we're over 140 knots on the with a quartering crosswind, which means we're probably about 100 knots on the tail, at least. That is nuts. That's kind of fun. I did not expect to actually have that strong a tailwind today. And I'm also extremely glad I am not flying the return. Wow. Got some wing flex as we begin our descent, though. That's fun. Ooh, nice satellite imagery over here. Or at least, nice mountainous terrain. That's wonderful. I assume we're probably going to be on the ground in about 20 to 25 minutes. And again, my apologies in advance. I figured I was going to try to do some scenery dev as well, and my brain is like, nope, you're not. So, is what it is. Happy to have you amazing people along with me, even if you're watching on the replay. This is something of a rarity, since I'm doubling down more on scenery development these days. But we have left our cruising altitude of 370, and I need to reconfigure for 1,500 feet, which is the altitude we're going to go for. And then that should take care of us. We are beginning to scrub some speed off. We were about 564 knots ground speed, and now we're 548. The tailwind complement is now becoming more of a crosswind complement. And let's see, we're at flight level 302. We're definitely going to be above 13,000 for the the profile. Actually, we're way above profile. So let's see, 544. So times 5, that's another 200. Let's go to 2,800 feet per minute and see if we can keep the speed from going up too much faster. We should probably be able to do a nice descent, or excuse me, we should probably be able to catch up, is what I'm trying to say. And again, if we have to, we'll go further out into the bay and then loop back and line up for our approach. Very happy to be flying FS 2020 tonight. I do also have FS 2024 installed, and I'm going to be doing scenery development for that, like I did before I went on break and spent time with the family in Disney. I released Higginsville Industrial Municipal Airport, Kilo Hotel India Golf on flightsim.to, and I have plans or desire to release more airports for FS 2024 as well. I think probably, it's important for me to make sure that I slow down and take care of things one step at a time, because that would be conducive to a sustainable development cycle. Not to mention keeping me from burning out. And a burnt out scenery developer is no fun. I say that because I was one, clearly. I think I enjoyed the process of creating airports, but then I kind of started getting a whiff of the idea of going, oh, you can do this for a living. Ah! And then I went kind of gung-ho and then immediately proceeded to burn out, because I was like, well, what's my goal? And who am I up against? And what am I trying to build? And I saw company after company after company create great scenery for FS 2020, and I was just like, oh, like there's just so much better than mine. Why does mine suck? Oh! And I kind of just stopped and stepped away for, I think, a couple of weeks at least, before I was just like, okay, reality check. You are not them. You are you. And sincerely, all things considered, I'm very, 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 very grateful to be in a spot right now where I can say, I'm home, I'm relatively healthy. I would like things to be a bit easier at the moment, but genuinely, it is what it is. And it's okay. It's fine. I want to make the most of what I've been given. And what I've been given is a lot. It may not look that way on the surface, but it really is a lot. And reason why I know is because I'm still going. And I think that approach mode automatically kicked in, but we are inside of, like, say, a 30 nautical mile circle to final, and we're still at about 19,000 feet, so we're making our way down quickly. The slower we go, the more ground we'll cover in terms of descent. But I was thinking about this a little earlier today, and I got a little emotional. I normally spend most Christmases going, I want to make the most of it. I want to really appreciate Christmas. And I wound up, going through the Christmas season, and people would be like, oh, yeah, like, this was a nice Christmas, and I got some stuff, and that's fine. But, you also we're like, ah, well, I wish I could have spent time with this person or that person, or I wish I could have gone out for food, or I wish I could have done X, Y, and Z. And those thoughts kind of happen too when you're like, well, it is what it is. It's like I said before, I was afraid that I was going to miss that or mess that up. And I think my problem was I felt like I did, and I didn't quite know whether or not that was actually going to be the case in terms of, this happening again this Christmas, but it didn't. I spent time reading my Bible and looking at Advent devotionals, these little booklets that I had, which allow you to take a few pages a day and look at the Christmas story and apply that. And I was looking at a few books and taking them one day at a time, literally, and looking at each day and the devotional that kind of like, showed up at that point. And basically saying, hey, like this is what I want, or like not what I want, this is what I'm going to be focusing on. And I've been relatively faithful to read the devotionals and read up each day. And it's not about reading, it's not about checking off a box, it's just about being exposed to the goodness and the mercy and the ever increasing amazingness of life with God through Christ. And it's great because the more as I've read, I've used those opportunities to kind of just clear my brain when work gets rough, to remember or to infuse my Christmas season with a reminder of the joy that I have through my Lord and Savior Jesus. I'm a born again Christian. And if you're not, and you don't want to hear about anything with regards to that stuff, then hey, I totally respect you. The last thing that I want to do is to cram my spiritual beliefs down anyone's throat. Bear in mind, of course, I am a born again Christian, and I will do everything within my power to respect you and treat you with empathy. All I ask is the same. If that's not your bag, you're always welcome to come in here and hang out and watch us, fly and indulge in some memes as we fly in flight sim and do scenery development as well. But of course, clearly, and this is not something that I avoid talking about per se. I am a believer in everyone having a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. That's my desire for the world, that we would all know him through Jesus and be saved and spend heaven with him. But again, if that's not your bag and you're just here for the flight, happy to have you aboard. I know that this Christmas is different for me, and it's not an easy Christmas either, because we still miss somebody that we said goodbye to that passed away some years back. And when something like that happens on, like, around the holiday season, around Christmas season, I'm starting to understand how some people have it rough, and it's difficult, and you kind of think about things from a different perspective. But hold on.
2,500.
Let's go ahead and adjust this back up to about 3,000 feet. All right, once we roll out, we should be able to get to a good descent path. Oh no, Parrot is at or above 1500. We were actually going there. Let's do managed. And let's go ahead and also hit approach as well. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get flaps 1. And we'll probably do flaps 2 and go gear down as well. Yeah, like I was saying, Christmas just feels I've had challenging Christmases before. This one's a little bit rough, but at the same time, staying close to my Lord and Savior through prayer and through devotions and scripture reading has made the experience better. Let's do flaps 2. And I think we can begin the descent path at this point. We're on approach mode, so we should be descending past 1500. Once we do that, we should be dropping the gear. I can see the runway right about here. That's odd. We're grabbing a teensy bit, but this seems a little weird to me. The good thing is we have visual with the runway, so if we have to fly it in by hand or maneuver ourselves better, we will. But we are on glide slope and localizer. I think that final approach fix is going to be what actually starts us on the descent path down the rest of the way, so let's see. Okay, there we go. We haven't completed our descent yet, so that's fine. Obviously, we're still in the air, but also we haven't begun the actual final descent. And way off in the distance appears Sendai, so it does look like we have some photogrammetry up here, which is great. I might grab the drone cam and fly out there once we actually get here. Could be descending now. We should be. Why aren't we descending? That's a little disturbing, and we are... There we go. Kind of scared me there. Let's get flaps 3 in, and then we'll go flaps 2. We should have gear deployed. I almost put my gear up, actually, so... 1000 stable. We are descending. Let's go. No. I keep doing the wrong thing. We'll go flaps 4. I'll keep flaps, I'll keep the MCP go around set at 3000. 500, we've got a little bit of crosswind. My aircraft. And
300.
Auto brake medium. We have spoilers armed.
200. 100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
Okay, we're down. Bit of a sloppy mess, and for some reason my my flight controls would not pull the elevator up real fast, but that's okay. Okay, manual decel. That's all right. We're down, and we are at Sendai. Welcome down, everybody. We didn't slam it down. We just kind of started drifting off the center line, but we are down. Also, I'm on a runway, so we're trying to get on a taxiway, which is right there anyway, so we're okay. Taxi light on, we'll get the APU started, and we'll turn the probe heat off. And here we are. Not bad. About an hour and 18 minutes of paid time to this point from when the batteries came on. Or excuse me, when the power was plugged in. APU bleed is on, and I can go ahead and stow the landing lights, stow the strobes, and taxi lights on. That's it. And let's go ahead and also stow the spoilers as well. Beautiful. Welcome down, everybody. We had probably about 40 minutes worth of flight time today. I apologize for grossly overestimating how quickly we'd get to Sendai. But at the same time, we are here. See? Sendai. And we're going to be pulling up those gates. Unless they took gate 4, we should be able to park up and call in flight. I was feeling a little bit just like blah a few minutes ago. I'm feeling better now, but I think I'm going to duck out once we go ahead and park up and take care of some business and help Mrs. DIGI with dinner. I might actually be back on later in terms of quiet stream to be able to do more scenery dev, or at least to sit down and plan what I'm going to be doing for the next few days. I think I see where I'm parking up. Does that make sense? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it looks like... Oh, okay. It looks like I'm parking up over here, because I see they do have some folks waiting for me. Alright, let's go ahead and start tuning in. This is kind of fun. And we'll go ahead and turn the taxi light off. All right. Weather radar can come off, of course. Don't want to cook anyone's brains. And there we go. Start slowing up a bit. Ooh, that was really strong. Give me a little bit more. There we go. We got it. All right, we got the APU bleed on. Let's go ahead and cut the engines. And we can cut the logo and get the external power on. Cut the bleeds. And get the beacon light off. And hook up the jetway, and that should take care of us, and hopefully the jetway will actually connect this time. It's a meme. What are you gonna do? I enjoy it. Alright, and then we should have power, and we should be good. Unless, of course, the jetway doesn't come out that far. Okay. Like I said, is what it is. I'm not worried about it at all. We had a good time. Landing was a bit sloppy Joe, but we got it done. And so about, I want to say, somewhere between an hour 25 minutes to an hour 30 from battery on to arrival, which about makes sense. So that would mean I had roughly a 15 to 20 minute spin up before we actually started taxiing to the gate. So we do have external power on, and we have all that stuff available. Beautiful. All right, not a problem. We are here at Sendai, and jetway doesn't reach us here like it didn't do at Kobe. That's okay. I genuinely don't care. Let's go ahead and dismiss the jetway and pretend like everybody actually unloaded. So I will go ahead and send the jetway packing, which is probably going to be a good idea anyway because I'm going to be using the drone cam. And now I can set my drone cam mode back to external. Free cam, reset position, go max drone speed, and we're going to go check out Sendai real fast. Unless, of course, we can't. And Sendai is that way. Alright, so a little bit of a flight, and just enough time to say thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight. Appreciate you all being here, even if all you did was lurk for a few minutes before you took off. Thank you so much. I intend on doing some scenery dev, provided I get some chance to power down and to enjoy a few good sleeps. I think I've been sleeping like about 5 to 6 hours a night, probably less. And that's gonna, power me down a bit more than I should be powered down, so that's okay. I should, rest up and chill out. And I didn't get a chance to really take a look at the infrastructure in here, and I think I see loads of trains. Yes, I think. Yep. Loads of trains. I also might want to update my Rex Accu season. This is FS 2020, not FS 2024. But downtown Sendai looks neat. I wonder how detailed it is if I go down to street level. I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. The photogrammetry in Sendai looks better than the photogrammetry in some of the major cities that I've seen stateside. It looks really nice. You could literally walk through this if it weren't for the usual overdone trees, and that's okay. I'm willing to forgive that. The photogrammetry out here looks wonderful. The city looks neat. The buildings look absolutely amazing. I think I have my terrain level of detail set to either 125 or 150, and it looks wonderful. This all looks great. And I believe this is actually real time. We took off in the dark, and then we said hello to the sun on the way up to Sendai from Kobe. And yeah, this is nice. Look at these big buildings too. They're nice. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. The photogrammetry and the ground cover look great. Whoever did this genuinely should get a gold star. I don't know my way around around Sendai at all, but I have seen my fair share of photogrammetry, and it looks like this place got significantly improved. I mean, excuse me, I've never actually been here, but it looks like photogrammetry overall in FS 2020 improved. Maybe I'm wrong. But also, let's take a look at some semi-random buildings. Even when you get up close to a lot of these photogrammetric buildings, you can actually make out the details on them. I want to say they did something to improve the photogrammetric rendering through Bing Maps. I want to say. Like I said, I'm not going to expect this to be absolutely perfect. This is better than it's been, and that's actually great. I like it. This is wonderful. And you can make out billboards and signs on the side of buildings. It's pretty cool. All right. All right, we'll park right up on top of this Westin here. It's amazing. And it looks like there's an actual helipad here. That's actually a little trippy. That's cool. There we go. All right. Friends, I think I actually am going to go ahead and call it. I want to play it safe. I apologize if you showed up and you were looking forward to seeing me work with Blender, but I'm definitely glad I did some flying, even if it was in the totally default A320 Neo. Like I said, I had a great time. I routinely, or I should say, I've routinely used that plane just to do quick knockabout flights for fun, just because. I am not as much of a study level pilot. I'm nowhere near the study level pilot that I used to be in terms of trying to go for realism and whatnot, but I still like being in the sim. I do like doing airport development now, more so than I did when I was actually getting started. And I'd like to see what comes of it. I also want to make sure I rest up, have a great Christmas season ahead, because sheesh, we're coming on prime time now. Like literally, it's it's days away. It's literally days away, and I'm hoping for some downtime with family, some good sleeping, some good sleeping in, or at least some good rest, and a chance to recalibrate. I'm not going to pretend that everything's perfect. I would like things to change. I think I could actually make a good go of scenery development, but there are some things that I want to do. There are some things that I'm trying to do in terms of, getting materials, getting stuff, all the things. So, no worries. It's literally going to be one step at a time. And I'm going to enjoy what God has blessed me with, even when it sometimes doesn't seem that way. For me, Christmas is all about God's saving hand at work in my life through the birth of someone qualified to be my Redeemer, my Savior, and that's Jesus. I pray your Christmas season is one full of restoration, health, and success. And if you're having difficulty, if you're struggling, if it's just a flat out kind of like problem with regards to life, my prayer is that you get relief in Jesus' name. It's a privilege hanging out with you all, and I think I'm going to leave us high above Sendai or downtown Sendai, and I'm going to go ahead and head out quietly. If you guys are interested in me doing scenery dev, look for possible scenery dev streams either on Christmas Day in the morning or midday, or on Boxing Day, which I believe is the 26th, or on the 27th, which is this week's coming Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Thursday or Friday, most likely. Wednesday depends on whether or not I wake up early, and depends on whether or not there's anything that we're doing at the time. Obviously, I'm going to be with family on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so whatever. If if I do happen to stream on Christmas Day, great. If I don't, it's not even going to be an issue. All right, friends, thanks so much for spending time with me today. If you're watching this on replay, I hope you have or have had a very Merry Christmas. Some of you are going to be celebrating Hanukkah as well, and in this case, Happy Hanukkah. And I think some of you are also going to be celebrating other holidays as well. I'm only familiar with Kwanzaa as another holiday season that immediately follows Christmas, or usually follows Christmas. So I hope that you have a restful and rejuvenative holiday season, I should say. I might sneak in some trucking this week on stream. I also might try to figure out how to actually get my new 3DS, or new to me 3DS, connected so that I can stream gameplay from that platform along with other platforms that we have. It continues to be a privilege to be able to stream on Twitch, and I do hope I get a chance to really buckle down and create some great content and opportunities. I had it in mind to make some models on Blender tonight, but if you're on my Discord, stay tuned. I will keep you all updated there with regards to the future, and certainly if you are interested and you'd care to do so, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/digi123, and you can go there to support my efforts, as it were. Those go towards taking care of bills, taking care of Mrs. Digi, keeping the lights on, so to speak, and also to eventually getting into funding flight sim endeavors like the upcoming sceneries, which I hope to release, one of them being a client paid project. But until then, folks, hope you have a great evening and a great upcoming Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And like I always like to say at the end of every stream, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that's Jesus Christ. Thank you, my friends. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday or Monday. And until next time, we'll see ya.